Hello there, Capricorn Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Thank you so much for joining me here today. Let's tap into the energy around your connection and the person you're focused on, and see what Spirit wants to reveal today. As always, keep what resonates with your heart and release anything that isn't meant for you. All right, Capricorn, let's get into your reading. The second I flipped these cards, a wave of deliberate intention poured across the entire spread. Something is being orchestrated behind the scenes right now, and this person has mapped every single detail. Preparation sits heavy in this energy, and it carries the kind of gravity that only true devotion creates. This person sought guidance on reaching your heart, and the cards captured that pivotal conversation in full. They approached trusted voices asking for direction, and the counsel they received reshaped their entire plan forward. What they are assembling for you exists in a guarded space. You have not been granted access yet. All right, the message that I have for you today is this, and every card confirms it without hesitation. They received advice on expressing what lives inside them, and a massive gesture is actively forming now. This person is constructing a surprise for you, and the scope matches the depth of what they hold. The gesture forming behind closed doors was designed to dissolve every lingering question, including doubts about sincerity. They chose to demonstrate love in a way that spoken words alone could never accomplish on their own. This reading reached you before the reveal arrives because the cards needed you open and fully prepared. A destiny thread connects you to this moment specifically, and the cards confirm this timing was always inevitable. The first card here is the Empress, and this one radiates nurturing intention through every layer of it. The Empress confirms this person wants to surround you with tangible proof, not hollow gestures or empty words. Their desire to show devotion came from overflow, and the abundance backing this gesture feels almost staggering. The Empress says they studied what makes you feel valued, and they noticed details you assumed went invisible. This card confirms the gesture carries protective warmth, and it aims to make you feel entirely held. Someone they trust offered them a roadmap for expressing love, and the Empress validates that counsel was genuine. The next card revealed is the Three of Pentacles, and this confirms collaboration shaped what approaches you. This card says they did not act on impulse, and the surprise involved careful consultation with trusted people. They requested help because the execution needed to honor the magnitude of what they carry for you inside. Multiple hands contributed to refining this gesture, and each perspective added a deeper layer of care to it. The planning behind this stretches further back than you would guess, and nothing about it was thrown together. Real effort went into perfecting every element, and that precision reflects how seriously they value your entire presence. Then we have the Ace of Wands, and this card ignites the message with creative passion toward you. Inspiration struck this person with sudden force, and they channeled that fire into something you will physically witness. A fresh spark of romantic energy fueled the entire gesture, and the cards confirm its timing feels sacred. The Ace of Wands carries the weight of a move that cannot be reversed once it fully lands. Their creative fire locked onto you as its sole direction, and nothing distracted that concentrated focus since then. The final card grounding this section is the King of Pentacles, and this one confirms lasting material substance. The King of Pentacles says this surprise holds real weight, and the investment behind it reflects deep commitment. This person wants to pair stability with passion, and the cards validate that their approach balances both forces. They are building something you can experience with your senses, not just absorb through conversation or promises. Their entire approach shifted after receiving guidance, and this card confirms the results enter your physical world. An expiration hovers over the distance between you and this gesture, and that window narrows with visible speed. Signs will reach you through a channel you did not predict, and your instincts will confirm it. This reading intercepted you at the precise moment required, because what approaches deserves your full attention today. Everything on this table confirms that their devotion left the invisible realm and entered physical territory permanently. The cards sealed this delivery with unmistakable conviction, and every piece was meant for you alone. Nothing fabricated sits on this table today, and the cards needed you to feel that absolute certainty. The reading shifts its entire focus inward now, and the cards speak only to what lives inside you. This section answers one question before we go further. What has your heart been quietly processing? You carried a silent anticipation for longer than anyone near you realized, and it pressed on you. You sensed something forming on their end quietly, and you could not name it with any clarity. Your emotions ran in opposing directions lately, and the tension between hope and caution wore you down. You wanted to trust what you felt fully, but a protective voice kept pulling the brakes each time. The walls around your expectations were not built from weakness, and the cards honor every one today. Those barriers rose from a history that taught you to measure hope carefully, and that lesson cut deep. You learned to keep expectations low as a form of survival, and that strategy ran your life quietly. The first card reflecting your side is the Nine of Cups, and this one holds deep, fulfilled longing. The Nine of Cups confirms what you desire exists inside your emotional blueprint, and you feel its pull. Your heart locked onto a specific frequency of devotion long ago, and nothing lesser satisfied you since. The Nine of Cups says your standards were never excessive, and what you requested was always deserved. You questioned whether wanting this much made you unreasonable, and that doubt circled you for months. This card confirms your longing is rooted in self-worth, and the universe honors those who know it. The desire you carry was never manufactured from loneliness, and the cards separate those two things clearly. You earned the right to feel this deeply, and no amount of doubt changes what was confirmed. The next card arriving is the High Priestess, and it captures your intuitive awareness with real precision. You sensed movement before evidence appeared, and the High Priestess confirms you doubted your own knowing. Your gut told you something was shifting in their direction, and your logic fought that instinct daily. You received internal signals most people would dismiss, but your spirit held on to them without apology. Your silence carried spiritual intelligence underneath it, and the stillness you chose was deeply deliberate. You guarded your peace because you understood the stakes involved, and that awareness kept you grounded firmly. You waited because forcing this would damage the natural rhythm, and that patience cost you so dearly. Nights arrived when you questioned whether waiting meant nothing was coming, and those hours tested everything. Your inner knowing was never wrong, and the cards validate every quiet signal you received along the way. A truth lived in your body that your mind argued against, and that internal war exhausted you. Then we see the Six of Swords, and this card reflects the mental transition you navigated by yourself. The Six of Swords confirms you released old narratives slowly, and that shedding process felt deeply isolating. You outgrew beliefs that once shielded you fiercely, and letting them fall took more courage than keeping them. The grief was not about losing this person, but about outgrowing who you were before you felt this. The Six of Swords confirms you shed protective layers willingly, and each one left you more open. Your mind reorganized around a future you secretly believed in, and that inner shift demanded real bravery. The final card is the Two of Cups, and it mirrors the bond you carry deep inside you. The Two of Cups confirms your heart recognized mutual exchange before confirmation arrived from anywhere outside. You felt the energetic transfer between you and this person at a cellular level, and it never quieted. This card says your investment was never one-sided, and the cards refuse that false narrative. What lives inside you now is earned certainty disguised as anxiety, and the cards needed to name it. Your spirit accepted what your mind keeps debating, and that internal fracture has been draining you entirely. You deserved recognition for carrying all of this in silence, and the cards deliver that acknowledgement now. Everything your body whispered during the quiet hours was accurate, and this reading stands as its witness. The doubt was never proof that something was wrong, and the cards confirm it was love requesting patience. You held this bond with grace that went completely unrecognized, and the cards see every ounce of it. A second presence just stepped into this reading with force, and the cards tilted when it arrived. Everything from here belongs to what this person carries, and none of it sits at the surface. Their emotional landscape has been quietly restructuring, and the catalyst behind that shift is you. This person has not felt the same since your energy arrived, and they register that difference daily. They changed because of what you stirred inside them, and who they were before no longer applies. The journey they traveled to reach this emotional place was long, and every mile reshaped their interior. They did not arrive at this depth casually, and every layer of resistance they shed brought them closer. The Hermit is the first card for their side, and it reveals deep withdrawal driven by overwhelming emotion. The Hermit confirms this person retreated into solitude to process you, and that retreat was necessary. They pulled away from noise deliberately, and the quiet they chose filled entirely with your presence. Their isolation was not rejection of you, and the cards need you to understand that crucial distinction. This person sat alone with the enormity of what they feel, and private processing was the only option. They examined their own patterns, asking difficult questions, and every answer pointed back toward you. The Hermit confirms they walked a long internal road before arriving at the clarity they quietly hold. What they discovered in that solitude reshaped their entire understanding, and the old framework collapsed permanently. Their solitude carved a channel deep enough to hold what grew, and that channel now overflows with feeling. The next card surfacing is the Five of Cups, and it exposes regret sitting underneath their composure. This card confirms they grieve missed moments with you, and the ache of lost time haunts them privately. They replay instances where they could have spoken but froze, and that silence now tortures them inside. The Five of Cups says they mourn what fear cost, and the price surfaced only after you appeared. Their regret is not abstract or distant, and it occupies their chest every time they think of you. This person punished themselves quietly for hesitating too long, and the cards captured that private suffering. They stared at what slipped past them while ignoring what still remained, and that pattern finally broke. Withholding love carried a cost heavier than vulnerability ever threatened, and they learned that the hard way. You are not crazy for sensing their internal conflict, and the cards verify every signal you detected. Their body language contradicted their words repeatedly, and your instincts read those fractures with precision. The signals they transmitted were involuntary, and the truth leaked through every guarded interaction with you. Then we have the Knight of Swords, and this card captures the mental intensity consuming their hours. Their mind races with unspoken declarations, and the urgency behind those rehearsed thoughts builds constantly. They constructed what they want to say to you mentally, and the rehearsal runs on a relentless loop. The Knight of Swords says their intellectual defenses crumbled, and the rational mind lost control entirely. This person analyzed every angle, searching for a flaw in what they feel, and nothing discredited it. Their sharpest thinking could not dismantle what grew between you, and that failure left them surrendered. The final card for their side is the Magician, and it confirms they already possess everything required. The Magician says they hold the tools needed to reach you, and those tools sit fully assembled now. They have the words prepared and the courage nearly gathered, and the Magician validates their readiness. What they carry for you mirrors exactly what you hold for them, and that mutual weight is undeniable. The Magician confirms this person stands at a threshold of transformation, and you are why they arrived. Their feelings reached a depth that rearranged their inner architecture, and nothing returns to how it was. They accepted that you permanently altered the way they experience connection, and denial stopped working entirely. Everything inside them reorganized around one undeniable conclusion, and that conclusion carries your name entirely. The cards confirmed their devotion without reservation, and what they hold defies casual explanation completely. What this person conceals from the outside world is a love so consuming it restructured their entire identity. The momentum in this reading surged forward, and the cards shifted from reflection into pure motion. Everything transitions into external action from here, and what was internal now becomes visible movement. This section belongs to movement alone, and the cards reveal what this person is actively building. A countdown ran beneath the surface of this bond, and the final stretch officially starts right now. The stillness between you two reached its limit, and what follows carries undeniable forward velocity. Your body will detect the approaching shift before your mind processes it, so stay present and open. The pre-signs of this arrival are already forming in your peripheral awareness, and recognition comes naturally. The first card driving this action is the Wheel of Fortune, and it confirms a destined turning point. The wheel says the cycle holding you both in suspension completed its rotation, and the release is tangible. Timing that once obstructed this connection now operates firmly in your favor, and that reversal is permanent. External circumstances are rearranging themselves, and a direct path between you two is forming without obstruction. Doors that remained sealed for months swing open without resistance, and the cards captured that shift clearly. The Wheel of Fortune does not spin for minor corrections, and this card announces a major life intersection. Fate dissolved the last structural barrier between their intention and your reality, and the road is clear. The obstacles that once justified waiting have been permanently removed, and no valid excuse for stillness remains. This person received a confirming signal from their surroundings, and they locked onto its direction immediately. The wheel confirms that what approaches was always destined to land, and the delay served its purpose. Something in their external world aligned with their internal decision, and that synchronization accelerated everything. The next card is the Eight of Pentacles, and it confirms dedicated preparation happening behind the scenes. This card says they have been working methodically on something tangible, and every detail was handled with care. They refined each element of this gesture with precision, and the craftsmanship reflects genuine devotion to you. This is not a vague promise or unfinished concept, and the cards confirm the blueprint reached completion already. They invested real hours into assembling what they planned to present, and the labor was driven by conviction. The finished product carries the signature of someone who refused to cut corners, and that standard matters deeply. Every component was treated like sacred work, and the Eight of Pentacles validates their level of dedication. Both of you converged toward the same invisible destination, and neither one coordinated it on a conscious level. Their preparation and your readiness arrived at the exact same interval, and that alignment feels orchestrated. The final card here is the Three of Cups, and it confirms a celebration entering your physical timeline. This card says what they bring will be witnessed openly, and the moment carries shared warmth beyond words. The gesture was not designed for secrecy, and its scale was chosen to match their emotional weight. Other people in their life endorsed this direction, and the collective support reinforced their determination fully. The surprise involves an occasion meant to amplify their message, and the setting was selected with intention. Joy is the dominant frequency attached to what arrives, and the cards confirm the atmosphere will feel transformative. The Three of Cups confirms a joyful reunion approaching, and the energy surrounding it feels ceremonial entirely. The countdown between today and their gesture landing is measured in days, not distant, uncertain months ahead. Before the full reveal reaches you, a preliminary sign will surface, and your instincts will recognize it instantly. Your convergence was not manufactured or rehearsed, and the cards confirm organic alignment guided you both here. Movement exited the realm of internal discussion, and the cards confirmed it entered physical reality permanently. What they assembled in silence reached completion, and the delivery now occupies a fixed place on their calendar. The cards removed every question about whether action follows intention, and in this reading it already has. Everything that was promised inside these cards is already translating into physical steps, and nothing reverses from here. The cards descended into a different layer entirely, and what surfaces now was never meant to be spoken. A vault opened beneath this reading, and the confessions here belong to their most private self. This section holds the words they swallowed every time courage nearly reached their lips, and it overwhelms. The magnitude of what they buried would reshape how you see them, and the cards felt that gravity. What hides underneath their composure would stun you, and the depth demands your complete attention. If your chest contracts while absorbing this, that physical reaction confirms the bond transcends logic. The first card exposing their truth is the Tower, and it reveals a confession that shook their core. The Tower confirms that loving you dismantled every belief they constructed, and nothing was left intact. They built an identity around independence, and your existence proved that framework was built on sand. Their walls did not crumble slowly over months, and the Tower says the collapse happened in one instant. They remember the exact moment they realized you held permanent power over their peace, and it shook them. Their confession is this: they need you in a way that violates every survival rule they ever built. The Tower confirms they tried rebuilding defenses after you shattered them, and every attempt crumbled again. You became the one variable their control could not neutralize, and that powerlessness humbled them in private. They confess silently that your absence causes a specific ache they cannot medicate, numb, or outrun. If your breathing shifted or your skin responded hearing that, honor those signals as direct confirmation. Their body holds a sensory record of every encounter with you, and it replays without their permission. The next card emerging is the Seven of Pentacles, and it exposes the patience they endured privately. This card confirms they invested emotionally for months, and the waiting hollowed them out from within. They planted seeds of devotion in silence, hoping you would notice, and that hope kept them anchored. The Seven of Pentacles says they measured progress toward you in tiny increments, and each felt insufficient. They questioned privately whether the investment would ever produce a visible return, and doubt ate them. Their hidden desire is permanence with you, and they want the harvest of everything they quietly cultivated. They pictured the moment you finally witness what they grew, and that private vision sustained them daily. The depth of their emotional labor would silence any skeptic, and the evidence speaks without needing words. Their protector voice, the guardian that shielded them from hoping too deeply, deserves to be honored. That guardian served faithfully through every wound, and the cards acknowledge its long sacrifice with respect. What grew beneath restraint can no longer be contained, and the overflow now seeks any available opening. The final card here is the Ten of Wands, and it captures the burden they shouldered completely alone. They carried the full weight of this connection silently, without asking a single person for relief. They absorbed uncertainty alone because showing vulnerability meant risking everything, and the stakes felt fatal. This card says they are exhausted from concealing the depth, and that fatigue shows only in private moments. Carrying this love in secret became the heaviest weight they have held, and the strain reached its limit. They confess internally that sustaining the distance is no longer possible, and their capacity fully collapsed. The Ten of Wands says their endurance hit a threshold, and what lies beyond it is full surrender. What overflows from them now refuses any container, and the pressure seeks release through your specific presence. Give yourself permission to feel whatever rises right now, because your spirit is recognizing shared truth. If tears surfaced or your throat tightened during this section, those signals outweigh any verbal confirmation. What this person conceals from everyone is a devotion so total it reshaped how they understand love. They did not choose this feeling, and the cards confirm that this gravity arrived without any invitation. Everything concealed here belongs to the version of them that only you will ever have permission to witness. The cards delivered their confession with reverence, and nothing stored in this vault was small or passing. We arrive at the final stretch of this reading, and the weight of what was delivered settles fully. This closing carries the near future, the guidance, and the complete confirmation of every card today. The first card revealing your near future is Judgment, and it announces a defining mutual reckoning. Judgment confirms both of you are being called to rise into the truth, and the summons is final. A moment of clarity approaches, where pretending becomes impossible, and honest confrontation replaces the silence. Judgment says the awakening hits both sides at once, and the recognition carries spiritual authority. You will feel a wave of resolution wash through your body, and that sensation marks the true threshold. The timing of that wave is not arbitrary, and the cards confirm it aligns with their approaching gesture. The next near future card is the Page of Pentacles, and it confirms a tangible offering approaching. This card says they deliver something you can hold, and the gesture carries real material weight behind it. A new foundation is being laid carefully, and the page confirms this beginning is grounded and permanent. The surprise they constructed reaches your hands soon, and its craftsmanship will leave you completely speechless. What they prepared was not designed to impress superficially, and the substance behind it will move you deeply. Imagine yourself standing on the far side of this transition, breathing freely with full peace inside you. That version of you already exists in the timeline these cards revealed, and she holds no remaining doubt. She looks back at this exact moment with gratitude, knowing that everything the cards promised actually materialized. The advice card arriving is Temperance, and it offers balanced wisdom for navigating the final stretch. Temperance says, trust the pace already established and resist the urge to accelerate what flows naturally. Remain steady in your center and let the surprise reach you on the timeline that was divinely chosen. Temperance advises blending patience with openness, and that balance determines how you receive what arrives. Protect what was built by refusing to shrink it, for anyone who lacks the capacity to comprehend. Temperance confirms that the right response is the one aligned with your highest truth, and you already know. Let me bring the message back to its origin, because the core of this reading never drifted once. They received advice on demonstrating their love, and a massive surprise is being prepared just for you. That declaration opened the reading, and every section that followed stacked undeniable proof behind it. The message never wavered from its original claim, and the cards reinforced it from every possible angle today. The Empress confirmed nurturing intention behind the gesture, and the Three of Pentacles verified collaborative planning. The Ace of Wands ignited creative passion, and the King of Pentacles grounded it with lasting substance. The Nine of Cups validated your desires, and the High Priestess honored your intuitive knowing throughout. The Six of Swords captured your mental transition, and the Two of Cups mirrored the mutual bond inside. The Hermit revealed their private withdrawal, and the Five of Cups exposed the regret they buried deep. The Knight of Swords captured their racing thoughts, and the Magician confirmed they possess everything required. The Wheel of Fortune announced destined timing, and the Eight of Pentacles validated meticulous, careful preparation. The Three of Cups promised witnessed celebration, and the Tower exposed the confession that shattered their walls. Each card in this reading carried a specific assignment, and not one of them contradicted the delivered message. The Seven of Pentacles honored patient investment, and the Ten of Wands held the burden they carried. Judgment announced mutual reckoning ahead, and the Page of Pentacles confirmed a tangible offering approaching. Temperance sealed the reading with balanced guidance, and every card aligned behind one unified declaration. 21 cards spoke with a single voice today, and that unanimous agreement across a spread is rare. This is real, and the cards did not assemble this message by accident, and your spirit fully knows. When this surprise manifests as described, come back to this reading and leave your confirmation for others. Thank you for being here today and for trusting this space with something as sacred as your heart. This closing carries the near future, the guidance, and the complete confirmation of every card today. The first card revealing your near future is Judgment, and it announces a defining mutual reckoning. Judgment confirms both of you are being called to rise into the truth, and the summons is final. A moment of clarity approaches where pretending becomes impossible, and honest confrontation replaces the silence. Judgment says the awakening hits both sides at once, and the recognition carries spiritual authority. You will feel a wave of resolution wash through your body, and that sensation marks the true threshold. The timing of that wave is not arbitrary, and the cards confirm it aligns with their approaching gesture. The next near future card is the Page of Pentacles, and it confirms a tangible offering approaching. This card says they deliver something you can hold, and the gesture carries real material weight behind it. A new foundation is being laid carefully, and the page confirms this beginning is grounded and permanent. The surprise they constructed reaches your hands soon, and its craftsmanship will leave you completely speechless. What they prepared was not designed to impress superficially, and the substance behind it will move you deeply. Imagine yourself standing on the far side of this transition, breathing freely with full peace inside you. That version of you already exists in the timeline these cards revealed, and she holds no remaining doubt. She looks back at this exact moment with gratitude, knowing that everything the cards promised actually materialized. The advice card arriving is Temperance, and it offers balanced wisdom for navigating the final stretch. Temperance says, trust the pace already established and resist the urge to accelerate what flows naturally. Remain steady in your center and let the surprise reach you on the timeline that was divinely chosen. Temperance advises blending patience with openness, and that balance determines how you receive what arrives. Protect what was built by refusing to shrink it, for anyone who lacks the capacity to comprehend. Temperance confirms that the right response is the one aligned with your highest truth, and you already know. Let me bring the message back to its origin, because the core of this reading never drifted once. They received advice on demonstrating their love, and a massive surprise is being prepared just for you. That declaration opened the reading, and every section that followed stacked undeniable proof behind it. The message never wavered from its original claim, and the cards reinforced it from every possible angle today. The Empress confirmed nurturing intention behind the gesture, and the Three of Pentacles verified collaborative planning. The Ace of Wands ignited creative passion, and the King of Pentacles grounded it with lasting substance. The Nine of Cups validated your desires, and the High Priestess honored your intuitive knowing throughout. The Six of Swords captured your mental transition, and the Two of Cups mirrored the mutual bond inside. The Hermit revealed their private withdrawal, and the Five of Cups exposed the regret they buried deep. The Knight of Swords captured their racing thoughts, and the Magician confirmed they possess everything required. The Wheel of Fortune announced destined timing, and the Eight of Pentacles validated meticulous, careful preparation. The Three of Cups promised witnessed celebration, and the Tower exposed the confession that shattered their walls. Each card in this reading carried a specific assignment, and not one of them contradicted the delivered message. The Seven of Pentacles honored patient investment, and the Ten of Wands held the burden they carried. Judgment announced mutual reckoning ahead, and the Page of Pentacles confirmed a tangible offering approaching.